All right, welcome to Analog a PlayStation 2 podcast, the podcast where normally we cover... God, I already messed it up. I had to stick in normally because this is a bonus episode. But normally we do a deep dive on one PS2 title, covering the game's history development. Do I even need to say this? This is a bonus episode. Screw it. I'm here with myself, Clayton, and my co-host Morgan. Morgan, how are you?
I am here, present.
All right.
Check me off the list.
We are continuing the tradition of ranking all the games that we've covered this year on the podcast. And we'll start with any sort of, I don't know, favorite moments. I don't know. A lot has happened in this year.
I don't even remember.
You moved into a house.
Oh, yeah.
Your life has progressed alongside this podcast.
Yeah. For the first year, was it my big life event was getting married? And then this year it's house and cat. Yeah. We have a cat now.
If you just listen to like the opening segments of all these episodes, you're just going to see like rapid progression.
Yeah. I'm
married.
Getting that.
House. Child.
Well.
Furry child.
Yeah, furry child.
Nothing's happened for me. I don't think anything at all. I just continued existing in the same way I'd been existing for a while. It just hit me recently that I've been out of high school for 8 years.
Yeah. We graduated 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It more so was like I've been working at the same place for almost 3 years. I actually couldn't even figure it out. I'm like, I don't know how long I've been working here. That's how weird it's been just to start working in one place every day of your life. And it's like, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years? I'm not even sure.
Time has lost all meaning.
It really has.
I think when you don't have that progression from like grade to grade or whatever when you're in school.
No.
Or like college, I guess.
It just feels like a rapid, continuous, never-ending march towards death. This is Analog a PlayStation 2 podcast.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about things on the show like war is bad, and sometimes we get a little existential.
But yeah. I was going to compile a couple year 2 stats, but I didn't do that. So I'm just going to say good. Much better than the first year, I think. I think we ended the first year crossing like 1,000 downloads. And we've since hit almost 9,000 downloads probably by the time this publishes. So that's a good, 900% better? I guess that's how that works. I don't know.
Yes. It would be, it's 9 times what we had. So yeah, 900%, I think.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
That is good. I still, in my head, I'm like, I'm just talking to Morgan and shooting this out into the void. No one's really watching this, but a decent amount of people are. And that's fun.
Yeah.
A few hundred every episode on podcast platforms, and then whatever YouTube decides to do with the video.
Which is all over the place.
It's all over it's definitely the most inconsistent platform. I mean, we can throw it out there and it can hit like, I don't know, 50 sometimes. And then it's like also 2,000. It's like, oh, this doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I've noticed though, it's the horror games that pop off the most.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there might be like a time I think YouTube does better at certain times of the year as well.
Okay.
And also our horror game titles were maybe more enticing. I don't know.
And the games themselves, maybe it's more, because horror is so psychological, and that's always interesting to discuss.
But I was kind of expecting stuff like Resident Evil to be more popular, but
yeah, no, not really.
It was these more niche horror games.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. I'm not going to even attempt to understand YouTube's strange ways of operating.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, overall, podcast is doing good. We're going to continue doing it. If it does bad, it's over. So you guys better engage.
Yeah, we thought we would get like 2 downloads ever, probably.
Which we did that first month, and it was, I think, me and you.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe just me and me. I don't even know.
Yeah, you on 2 different platforms.
Me on 2 different platforms.
Yeah,
checking the audio. Yeah. So it's cool that somehow people find the show. I imagine more people would find the show if I put in more effort into, outreach, like clipping the show and stuff like that. It's been on my to-do list for a very long time, and I'm just very lazy. I'm already overwhelmed with the amount of work that goes into a monthly show.
Well, I was going to say, and we're both full-time working adults. Like, we have lives and responsibilities and things. So, like,
and amongst that, I'm trying to play Baldur's Gate. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's another job in itself.
For sure.
I've started like my fifth character, I feel like. And I'm the furthest I've ever been. Mm-hmm. I've always like gotten to the end of Act 1, restarted. I think I've talked about this a couple times though.
Yeah, I don't think you've like explained that. Like, why do you restart? Are you just have like questions you want answered about that first chunk, or like
no, I just
what
like,
happens if I try
I
this?
do it. And then I'm like, wouldn't it be so cool if I was like an evil dragonborn man or something like that? Like, what would be different?
Yeah.
Or I would like talk to a spider and I'd be like, oh my God, what if I talked to this spider as a loath-sworn drow, you know? Spider dudes. It's like, and then you go and talk to them and it's like, oh my God, I got unique dialogue options because I'm a loath-sworn drow. Are you kidding me? Or like, how would these tieflings react to me if I was, I don't know, an orc or something like that? I don't know. It's just fun.
That's fair.
Like, what's Shadowheart going to say if I'm also a Githyanki?
Oh, yeah.
I killed her in that playthrough. That's what ended up happening.
You killed her?
Yeah, I did kill her in that playthrough.
Damn.
Because I basically made a character that was just geared up to be Lae'zel's boyfriend.
Okay.
All right, we're getting off topic.
All right.
This is a Analog Stick, a PlayStation 2 podcast. I think I'm ready to just get into it. We don't have to preamble for too long.
No. Yeah. Let's get on the PlayStation 2 topic. Yeah.
Okay. So last time we did a ranking, I think we both presented our lists and then we just combined them.
Yes.
Like taking the point totals basically. We were going to add to that list initially, but we're going to like restructure things. So we're going to do a typical like S to F. I'm going to add an F tier now. So we're going to redo year 1 and then we'll recap it. Do you want to redo it from scratch or do you want to base it off of what we said last time? Like starting from the top and then basically deciding where the tiers begin and end.
I don't know. I mean like Hunting Ground, Jak and Daxter, and SSX, those are probably, do those qualify as S tier?
Ooh, okay, this is the other thing we want to talk about.
Okay.
I think S tier should be an elite few.
Okay.
Like, I think personally, we'll get to it. I think I have one game here that I would like to even put forth as S tier.
Okay.
I would like it to be like, I don't even know.
Like super.
I don't want to say like under 10 in total.
Okay.
Not like in total of all, but just like it's going to stay slim is my thought.
Okay. And
A tier will be like a catch-all for like great stuff. But yeah, go ahead. Because some people do this differently. Some people just like throw things in the tiers and whatever's in the tier, like that's it. But some people also will order the tiers, like the farther to the left you are, the better it is. Do you want to do that too? I thought about that, but I think I like just having the tier be the tier. And then there's open discussion as to what
goes in what order. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I can vibe with this.
Kind of like a rating scale where it's like, okay, these games all rank an 8, but it's not worth I don't think it's worth the discrepancy of like being like this game is an 8.7.
Yeah.
Or an 8.1 or something like that.
Okay.
I'm fine with just the tiers being buckets, basically.
Okay.
All right. So, what makes the most sense to start out with? Should we go in chronological order? I'm down to just rehash the entire list if you want.
What, like with our year 1 games?
Yeah, like we don't. I'm not saying we have to keep the same order.
Okay.
Like I don't know, because we're moving to a bucket system, not a list system. So
right.
Let's just start with Jak and Daxter.
Yeah,
Jak and Daxter will be a good like. I'm gonna say, no, I'll let you go first.
Oh, well, I was going to say Jak and Daxter. Okay. Well, okay.
I think it's between B and A for me.
Okay, it's between the two. I was going to say A tier, but like, I also have the benefit of knowing what the other 2 Jak games are like, and the first one is my favorite. So like, like I think
it's B or A.
Okay.
I honestly want to lean more towards B.
Really? What and how come? Like, what is holding it back for you?
Like it's a solid platformer. Like it's a rock solid platformer. There's a lot of like really impressive things that it's doing on the PS2 from like a fidelity standpoint.
No loading screens.
Beautiful
environmental design.
Maybe it's a little maybe it's a little unnecessary to like attempt to judge a platformer for its story.
Yeah.
Or like
kind of. Because like there's some platformers where I'm like, I like that story. Like I like Sly Cooper's story, like genuinely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And yeah, to me, Jack 1 does not have as strong of a story. But I don't know. For the time, I think it's still impressive.
I think it's one of the smoothest platformers that we've played. Maybe the smoothest platformer we've played.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Duck and Quackers is up there, but I was gonna say B, but maybe A makes more sense.
It was in the top 3 last year. I don't know.
I'm gonna say A.
Okay.
Let's do A.
Okay.
Now SSX.
Right.
Obviously worse than Tricky.
Yes.
But still a good game. I think that's what we need to keep in mind whenever we rank this. We can't just be like F tier because SSX Tricky makes it completely defunct.
Yeah.
Basically, like there's no good reason in my mind to play the original over Tricky, but it's still okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling D or C, and I'm not sure which one.
I would say C, because again, like it's not bad. It's just not as good as Tricky.
I think another thing I want to discuss real quick is where does bad begin? Does bad begin on like D and F?
For me, it kind of does. Well, like C is like, did I have fun playing this? Like, would I seek this out? No, I don't know.
Yeah,
and D and F is like, that's stinky.
So B and C are like different degrees of okay.
Yeah.
Like middling.
Yes. I would say C is pretty mid.
A and S, like great and something else.
Great and recommended.
Yeah.
To play.
Great and like a must play sort of thing. Like this is like a console defining game, perhaps. And the D and F are different 2 degrees of stanky.
Stanky.
Yeah. I'm fine with C because there's a lot of like I feel like it's on the worst side of middling, probably is safe.
Yeah, that's where I would put it as well. Okay.
So we got A, Jack and Daxter, C, SSX. Okay. The list is taking shape. I feel like I have a better idea of where the rest will go based off these.
Okay.
Now, SSX Tricky.
Yes.
I feel like SSX Tricky is past the middling tier. I don't want to stick it in S because it, as much as I personally love it, maybe it's my personal S. I'm not even sure, but I'm gonna put forth an A.
I'll agree with A. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we did rank it alongside. I think it was number 2 technically.
Yeah.
Or was it number 3? I can't remember.
Well, there were a couple ties at the end that were really hard.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
wait. I have the list here. It was number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I A makes sense to me because it's really good. I don't know what would make it an S tier game. Maybe there's like a little bit of an implicit bias towards games like this.
I mean, I definitely have a bias against it because it's not the type of game that I like personally enjoy. But like I can respect
emotional resonance or
it doesn't have anything like that for me. Yeah,
I don't know, but it is. I don't know. We'll see if it's the best in the series. I kind of am under the impression that most people hold it to be the best in the series, but
okay.
When we get to the later games, we'll know for sure, I guess. But yeah, I'm happy with A tier. I don't think B tier would make sense, and I don't think S tier would make sense. So no. A tier for SSX Tricky.
Use that logic.
Yeah. Yep. Scalar?
Yeah.
I think Scalar we're skirting with bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking C or D.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which.
Again, if we were ordering the tiers in like, I would call it a low C, like a C minus. Because I'm okay with C. Okay. Because like again, it's not necessarily bad. Like there were fun things to do in it. It was pretty kind of fun to play for the most part, but like the story was poop And there was some jankiness to like the enemy, like the combat, and some parts of the game were like a little poopy. But
I feel like it was a somewhat unrefined action platformer, and probably the best thing it had going for it was a kind of like unique setting, I guess.
Yeah, but again, you didn't really like the setting that much. You were like, this is kind of ugly and hostile looking.
Yeah,
which
I didn't like it as much, but it was definitely different than like, I don't know, a typical platformer, I guess. It's like more scaly. Anyway. Scalar C tier makes sense to me. Let's
Oni.
get, okay, how bad is Oni? I think Oni has to go in F.
F. Garbo.
Yeah. I think it has to go in F. Because
the level design.
It was our bottom tier last time.
Yeah, I think it was our
least viewed episode as well.
Yep, yeah, because it sucks. The level design sucks. The visuals suck. The combat kind of sucks. Like, I appreciate the vision it had.
It really did.
It's just janky.
Yeah, this is the type of game that I think it maybe makes me hate it more because I want it to be so good. Like, you come at me and it's like, okay, we're gonna have Bungie develop a Ghost in the Shell inspired action brawler where you play as like a female cop in like a cyberpunk dystopia.
Sounds amazing.
Like, sounds great.
Yeah.
Sign me up. You get the game and it's like, oh, this is just an empty room and I'm just flailing my limbs around like Quap almost. It's just
oh, the levels are all symmetrical. What? Why?
Yeah. No, it's I wanted it to be better than it is.
Yep, it's not good.
Not good. Oni F tier.
Yep.
Chulip.
Oh, this is
here's where we're about to get a little funky.
This is hard to quantify.
I feel like, is Chulip a bad game? Yes. Is it a great game? Also, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like we're somewhere in the C and B tier range.
Yeah. Okay. But also the thing with Chulip though is you almost like have to play it with specific conditions. Like, you have to have a guide.
Mm-hmm.
And preferably, you probably want to emulate it. Because
you probably want to emulate it.
It's one of those things where it's like, I am glad that I played this.
I know, it's like such an interesting video game. It feels like a Bennett Foddy's getting over it before Bennett Foddy's like a game that is meant to be frustrating and kind of, I don't know, torment the player, pointing and laughing at them.
Right. Like if Animal Crossing and Get Over It or whatever had a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say B, but
I would say B tier too. Okay. I think it really is pulled in two directions. Like, it's super interesting and super frustrating. I don't know what that means. It makes me feel strange ways. So I'm going to say B tier.
The characters are all really good. The environment's good.
They are.
I do like the soundtrack.
I love, it's very good. The acapella sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the way the characters treat you, the way the music treats you. It's like the whole game is laughing at you, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's trying to like agitate you. It's great. But it's also terrible because it's trying to agitate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So B tier for Chulip. Okay. There's like a big truck convention, it feels like, outside my apartment.
They're like, oh, he's in a Discord call. All right, boys, let's ride out.
Roll out, boys.
Yep.
ATV Off-Road Fury 1.
So
let's just do A for Off-Road Fury. I mean ATV. Dang it. Never mind.
You had like a 50% chance of picking one of the phrases in the title and getting it right, and you picked the wrong one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I feel like I'm gravitating towards C tier.
I am also gravitating towards C.
I could be pulled up. But yeah.
That dusty soundtrack.
That soundtrack, S tier.
Yeah. So dusty.
Or A tier, let's not get too hyperbolic here.
Yeah. A for Off-Road Fury.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C tier makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's not anything, like, again, it's not bad, but there's not like a wow factor to it for me. Like, it didn't do anything particularly interesting or special. Like, it's just your standard racing game, I guess.
Right. I feel like we might get to 2 and start. I would like to see this series breach A tier for Off-Road Fury, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't really know how to make it, like, just as a concept, make it much more interesting than what it is.
Yeah, honestly, you're kind of right, though. It is kind of like,
it's very limited.
And it's a good time. It's a good time. But it's kind of a one-trick thing, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. C for Off-Road Fury. Haunting Ground.
Oh, man.
I feel like A is most likely, but what do you think keeps it? I assume you're going to say A as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the gameplay holds it back. If anything, that aspect of it is probably like the more limiting factor in what would keep it out of S tier for me.
Yeah, the annoyingness of Ricardo, and then I forgot his name. The little creep, like it's crawling around on the floor.
Crawling around. What was his name?
I don't remember his name.
Falls out of his wheelchair, gets burned alive, still chasing you around.
Yeah. Lorenzo?
I think it was Lorenzo.
Is there a Lorenzo?
I think it's crazy? Lorenzo.
Okay. If it's not,
Ricardo
my bad.
And Lorenzo.
Yeah. And Ugo.
I mean,
or whatever his name was.
I think that conceptually, very strong horror game.
It's scary.
It's very scary. The themes around it, the forced pregnancy, the being like a helpless girl.
Yeah.
Not really understanding the circumstances.
The boob jiggles.
The boob jiggles. You know what? Maybe it is S tier. I'm not sure. But I feel like this type of horror game is just a little bit less interesting of a genre. The sort of like run and hide horror game is just not my favorite thing to play.
See,
like I much prefer like Resident Evil, where it's like you gotta shoot the thing that's scary.
I mean, you do have ways to like fight back. Right. It's just you can't like kill the stalkers.
Right. It's more like just kind of delaying them.
From what I do know about like Clock Tower and Clock Tower gameplay, I do know that I think, at least my opinion, is that Haunting Ground is the highest tier of you're gonna get gameplay wise compared to the rest of Clock Tower. And again, to me, the emotional resonance, the story, the themes, the again, we have like the no loading screens. The castle design was very interesting.
It's a very well made PS2 game.
It is very well made, yes. And it's like one of those things where it's like, yes, I would recommend, especially if you're a horror fan, like please play this. Like I do want to recommend it to people.
Yeah. I mean, A tier, yeah. I think that we were both in agreement, but
yeah, I'm fine with not putting it in S tier. Like I get it.
All right. A tier for Haunting Ground. 007 Nightfire. Got any immediate thoughts?
I
feel like this is between A and B personally.
Yeah.
Based off where we had it ranked last time. I don't know. Is this where B begins?
I think so, because like again, there were certain things that I really liked. The vehicle sections, not great. Did not like the vehicle sections or the turret sections. The James Bond stuff, if it was like just like James Bond, like the sneaky I don't know, farting around the levels.
Right.
Gameplay, that stuff was like A tier to me, but the vehicle stuff is more like C tier, so I feel like B tier is like a good in the middle. I'm
gonna agree with you on that. Personally, I feel like it's almost like a Call of Duty game, like a modern Call of Duty game before modern Call of Duty games. It felt very like the way that it tried to pace itself, where it was like bouncing between like different types of combat, like stealth focused combat, or just like all out action, jumping into vehicle levels, having these like kind of crazy set piece fights, and just, you know, insane things happening where you're on like that snowmobile going through like a lodge or something.
Yep.
I think you like smash into a helicopter. I can't really remember.
Yeah, like crazy like theatrics and stunts.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like an early attempt at what would become the like stereotypical modern action game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, And it was good. Like, it was a good time. It's one of the more pleasant games to go back to now, I think, for most people. But yeah, just like some of the underutilized gadgets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it has a lot of ideas that it didn't fully expand upon.
Yeah, I would
I feel
agree
like B
with
tier
that.
just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of doo-doo, Call of Duty Finest Hour. I think we both hated this game. Or disliked, at the very least.
D for disliked?
D for disliked is kind of what I was feeling. Like, I don't feel the same way I feel about Oni.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a lot of very frustrating, and it's been a while, I'm trying to remember. I feel like the checkpoints was probably bad or something like that.
It was, also, too few and far between, I guess.
Yeah. This game is kind of expunged from my memory. Like, it's just gone. I can't remember playing it.
Yeah, I think, did you struggle with the tank segment? There was a tank segment that kind of sucked without save states.
I think I almost finished the game. I think this is one that I gave up on towards the end.
Yeah.
I remember like a very early tank mission where you had to just pilot a tank. You had to like wait for it to get repaired and then you had to pilot it out of there. And just kind of sucked. There's a lot of like really slow meandering sections, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Some things were kind of cool. You had to play as that female sniper lady, and that was neat. I feel like World War II Call of Duty is inherently kind of interesting, a little nostalgic for me, but this first console outing was just not it. So,
okay.
D tier.
Yes.
D tier for Call of Duty Finest Hour. All right.
D for duty.
D for duty.
And dislike.
TMNT, the movie tie-in for the 2007 reboot. A fairly solid, like, I don't know, like of the movie tie-ins, I feel like this game was decent.
Yeah, I feel like it's a solid like game aside from like being tied into a movie. Yeah. I enjoy the platforming, the combat. It's not like revolutionary, but like it's good enough to make it like fun to do.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily anything to write home about. Like, it's still just very repetitive button mashing, sort of repeat voice lines and all that stuff. Not particularly challenging or like, I don't know, unique combat. Like, you don't have a bunch of combat options, but I don't know, it's still something. It's something to do with your thumbs, you know?
Like most games.
Yeah. I'm feeling C tier.
Okay. I won't argue.
C tier. C tier for TMNT. All right. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is the final game of year one.
It was in our middle or mid range.
Yeah, it was like middling. I can't remember. Was it above? It was below TMNT. TMNT was number 5 for us.
Oh, it was above Harry Potter. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is hard because like I feel like I remember TMNT a little bit better than I do Harry Potter.
Yeah. Harry Potter was like kind of. It was like I don't know. It's like comfort food in some way. Like it really just kind of felt like, you know, my inner child is enjoying this. But you know, there's not like a lot here really. It was kind of fun to hop around Hogwarts and see stuff. The crunchy sort of like
those textures.
The textures, the voice. Yeah, it was all very like a nostalgic sort of lo-fi quality to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, underneath that, it's kind of, you know, obtuse objectives and story. And I can't really remember. You played the events of the game. Yeah, you ended with a Voldemort fight.
And the boss fight sucked.
The boss fight was rough. That was right.
Yeah. It was not fun. I think the dungeon design was pretty good. I mean, I don't know. There were some things that were kind of janky and frustrating. Combat was a little bit janky. I feel like there might be Harry Potter games that do it better. Yeah,
I believe the next game is people's favorite. And I say the next game. It technically came out first, but
okay.
I think Chamber of Secrets is like the one people point to when talking about their favorite Harry Potter games. So yeah, I'm feeling C tier.
Yeah.
C tier for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So that's all of year one, just to recap where we currently stand. In A tier, we have Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy, SSX Tricky, and Haunting Ground. In B tier, we have 007 Nightfire, Tulip, and that's the end of it. In C tier, we have SSX, Scalar, ATV Off-Road Fury, TMNT, and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In D tier, we have Call of Duty, and in F tier, we have Oni. Now, I feel like we played a lot of heavy hitters in year two.
Yes. So
and I feel like
this is not going to look like a bell curve, probably.
No, yeah. And I feel like out of all of them, I feel like I don't want to throw around the word objectively, but like in the sense of like, I don't know, it's undying cultural relevance and it's sort of like lasting mark on the third person shooter genre, just action game genre. I feel like Resident Evil 4 probably belongs in S tier. And I don't know if you're as hot on Resident Evil 4 as I am. It's definitely, out of all these games, it is 100% the most relevant to a modern audience.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're going to come at the game with any negatives, it's got to be the controls.
Yes. Well, like the reason why I would be less inclined, which again, I understand the cultural impact, the like how it sort of like blew everyone away when it first came out, like that I understand. And I'm not going to dispute that. So I'm fine with putting it in S tier. My like personal bias, I am always going to be biased more towards games that have like an interesting story, that have like some like sort of emotional pull, that have nostalgia, frankly. For me.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like there was more with the first Resident Evil that resonated with me than 4, but I still respect and appreciate everything 4 did. And I still do think it deserves S tier.
Yeah. I feel like I recently just finished the remake and it was fucking awesome. It's just such a good, this is like a game-ass game, Resident Evil 4.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's like the right amount of horror, the right amount of action. It's all stupid and fun. It's like the Fast and Furious of video games in some way. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's so well paced as well. Like the pacing holds up to like modern sensibilities. The characters, very endearing and likable. It's got a really small cast, but it's like, I don't know, it's really good.
So many quotable moments and memorable moments. And also like, I'm sure everyone has like, it's not like a game like, I don't know, like Harry Potter, for example. Like I can imagine everyone having their own unique story to tell about the experiences they had playing this game, because there's so many like different silly things that could happen.
I want to protect S tier as if it were my only daughter or something like that.
Okay.
I got to make sure every game that, you know, we put into S tier has passed some level of, I don't know, like a high quality bar. I feel like Resident Evil 4 is that game. I feel like if you're playing, I don't know, like if you were stuck on an island, you
could only bring one game.
Not one game, but like a PS2 game specifically. It's like, this is like a go-to. You're hopping back into this generation. I think Resident Evil 4 is like one of the games you got to play.
Yeah. Now, I will say that since this was like your pick for the S tier, I do have my own pick for the S tier on this list. And we will talk about that when we get to it. No. Actually.
Is it Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles?
No. Yeah, because it's got my boy Kakashi in it. No.
Mm-hmm. So Resident Evil 4 S tier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus.
That's an A tier for me.
That's exactly where I was going to go with it.
Yep.
I feel like we'll see whenever we come back to Sly 2 if it's, better. Because I didn't like it the first time.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to be more like receptive to what to what Sly 2 is putting on the table this time?
I feel like there's a chance I will be, but I'm going to keep a very open mind to it.
Okay.
But I do. I'm like vaguely remembering my takes on the second one and like why I didn't like it, because it is a bit of a departure in ways that I didn't like as much. But the first game is just really rock solid. Like,
yes,
platforming, very short, like all killer, no filler. It's style. The style is very. It's lush.
It's very lush.
The gameplay is lush as well.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. It really does have like a really killer style, and the whole like this raccoon with his gang of turtle and hippo just
criminal
robbing
animals.
Thieves, like a very like, I don't know, I guess not Robin Hood, kind of Robin Hood. I don't know. It's just he's cool.
Yeah.
And I want to be him.
Yes. But
Sly
we're just
Cooper.
Bentleys, probably.
Yeah,
I'm more of a Bentley.
Yeah. We're both at computers currently.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm A tier. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what would make it an S tier game for me, but
yeah, I don't know. Like honestly, if you like sat me down and you're like, what is there to improve with this game? I don't think I have. Well, okay. One thing, some of the audio mixing on the cutscenes was not great, but
right. There's like a refinement and polish that is not like looking at this game and compared to like Jak and Daxter, for example. Jak and Daxter, I feel like, is a much more like meticulously polished product.
Yeah, I mean, Sly 1 is still pretty damn polished, but
it is. There's a little bit of rough around the edges.
Yeah,
going on still though.
Yeah. Especially like the models in the cutscenes, they don't look great.
Oh yeah. That's whenever it really starts to fall apart.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, moment to moment gameplay, everything's very like stylized and pretty.
Yes.
But
very good.
Yeah.
Banging soundtrack.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really short. Like it's a really nice and short game. And I'm always in the mood for a nice and short game in my I don't know. My oppressive life. Anyway. Yeah, A tier. I don't have too much else to say. Star Wars Battlefront.
I would probably put that. Oh, I don't know. B or C. B for Star Wars.
B for Star Wars.
Yeah.
God damn it. I also feel like it's probably. I think it is probably a B.
I might change my mind after Battlefront 2.
Maybe. I'm honestly thinking of Battlefront 2, and I like Battlefront 2 more in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I would probably, but I don't feel like it's significantly better.
Okay.
On this list for what it's worth on the list. I feel like it's probably still B for Star Wars. So, but we're not ranking Battlefront 2. We're ranking Battlefront 1. It's just a really solid, like, I don't know. It's like the campaign is whatever. Just kind of takes you through, I think, every different map, I guess. But playing as like all the unique classes from the various films and seeing them kind of not personified, but translated into a video game class is fun. It's fun to have like a nice like large scale shooter. It's fairly mindless, but
that's okay.
It is okay. It is okay. It's just a solid thing to be doing with your thumbs, and that's what games are all about.
Right.
You can't play as the Jedi in this one, right?
No.
Yeah,
you can't. See, that's what docks some points for me.
It docks some points.
Yep.
I'm excited to get to 2 at some point, maybe in 5 years. All right. Sonic Heroes, D or F? What makes the most sense for you?
Okay. I'm gonna say D because it has more appeal than Oni.
Part of me wants to say F, and part of me doesn't want to upset Sage any more than I already have. So
he's still like, you should replay it, and I'm like, not gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen, brother.
Sorry,
nope.
One and done.
Yep.
It's in the contract. We're not allowed to replay any of these games. This was our last time playing Sonic Heroes. I will live the rest of my entire life never revisiting Sonic Heroes.
Yeah. Story's not great. Cutscenes are awkward. The gameplay is not good. Yeah.
I was just imagining like an IGN breakdown where it's like, listen, the gameplay
bullet points,
not good. Yeah.
Gameplay bad. Vine boom sound effect.
Sonic, he's present. That's a negative
he's
right there. Yeah, I don't know.
The combat was confusing.
I'll tell you what, some of the redeeming qualities. I liked that haunted mansion level. Mm-hmm. That was fun. The concept was kind of fun, except they did it so poorly in that you just replayed the same goddamn levels.
Yes.
Basically. There was like minor twists, but it was not enough to warrant playing the game essentially 4 times.
Correct.
To get the ending. It was insane.
No, thank you.
Absolutely insane. No, thank you. Sonic Heroes D tier.
Yeah, and I know for a fact there are Sonic games on the PS2 that I like more. So
we'll see. Whenever we get to the Sonic Mega Collection, we're going to dedicate 2 whole years to that, just playing every individual game.
Oh my god. I know. Don't do that to me. I'll go insane.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. A tier.
A tier. I was going to say A tier.
Did you think that this was going to be my S tier?
No, I know what your S tier is going to be, but I just had to make sure.
Okay.
I also agree that it's an A tier. And part of me is because I know that the game formula will be refined going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like the way it's executed in the first one though is good. Like it
is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. The story is very engaging. I found it. I like that they're mean to each other personally. I know that's contentious.
You live for the drama.
Some. Yeah, I live for the drama.
Yeah.
It's it's a nice little like Shrek like it's like a story for kids and older. It's got like
skid McMarks.
Yeah, the skid McMarks and
the inflatable titty
critique. Yeah,
Easter egg.
Everyone knows. You know what? Maybe it is S tier. We should do a separate ranking based
for boobs and boob physics.
Being, I don't know, disparaging towards women.
Yeah.
And then Haunting Ground would be very confusing. We're like, I don't know where to rank this thing.
Right. It's like, what? Yeah.
But yeah, A tier feels right. Like, I'm confident the series is going to get better, but the first outing was still very good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, A tier Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Now, Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex is up next.
And
I feel like
is my knee-jerk reaction, but
did you say B?
Well, or were you going to say A?
I was going to say C.
You were going to say C. Okay.
I was going to say C. I think it's solid, but it has a lot of problems. It's better than I remember as well.
Okay. Like, the boss fights. The boss fights were poopy, actually. Now that I think about it.
Were rough.
Yes.
Some of those were just like real like life wasters.
Yep.
Like, I going back to it, I like it more than I did as a kid. I felt compelled to 100% it or 104% it or whatever it is. It's stupid, but yeah, like the bonus levels and stuff that I never experienced as a kid were actually very interesting.
Mm-hmm. The cutscenes were jank. The ending was a little jank.
Hilariously jank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel C tier.
Yeah, C. Yeah. I'm easy to persuade, but yeah.
Easy. Yeah, just C tier feels right for Crash. Because, I don't know, there's like an it has like some amount of charm, but I feel like its style is never like perfectly pulled into like a really cohesive feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the very like. I never like when games give you the option on like the order to tackle things, but still force you to tackle them all. It feels like whenever you open a game up like that, you should be opening it up to like, I don't know. It's a perfect opportunity to give the player an option to skip things.
Yeah, and there's no way to optimize.
No, yeah. But yeah, C tier feels right. Now, Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly.
S for Spyro. No, I'm kidding.
S for Spyro. This is your S tier game. We might have to compromise.
Yeah, this is a D minus for me.
I was kind of leave it up to you whether or not you thought it belonged all the way in F tier.
It has so many problems. There's some of the original Spyro charm that it does capture, but when you have Insomniac's Ted Price being like, yes, this game was a travesty. This game was an insult to the hard work my studio did. Like, damn, that's messed up, dude.
I know. Spyro deserves better. It's sad to see that happen to both Crash and Spyro, but Spyro to a larger extent.
For sure. The level designs had some charm. I think the soundtrack is good. Mm-hmm. And is still done by Stuart Copeland, so that's cool. But the bugginess, the jank, there's just so much jank. It's so unpolished. And yeah, it's sad.
It's sad. It's an S for sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one of the games that I like barely played any of, so I was really leaning on you for this episode.
Oh yeah, because it kept breaking for you. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember if that was the game or whatever, but yeah. D for Spyro feels right. Okay.
Yep.
Rule of Rose. I feel like this is a very conflicting one because we both love the story.
Yeah, this isn't like another Tulip where it's being pulled in two directions.
It is. The gameplay is ass.
It is ass.
So let's do A for ass.
Okay.
I feel like this is an S tier story with F tier gameplay. Like,
I know.
Legitimately.
Like, and so like, where's the middle road? Is it because I feel like there is so much, like, well, it was like a 4-hour episode, wasn't it? Like, we talked about this game forever.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Naruto for an hour, and then we talked about this game for like 3 hours. But there's so much in the story that is worth analyzing and dissecting. Similar thing to like Haunting Ground, but I can't put it in A because, again, gameplay sucks ass.
I think it might belong in the overpopulated C tier.
Okay.
Like I if it were reverse, let's say, and it was S tier gameplay and F tier story, that probably weighs it higher. Like I would probably lean towards A or B maybe.
Yeah, I guess because these are video games. Like you are supposed to play them and enjoy them, not just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like C or D, honestly, but probably C because that story is like a very unique thing for video games to try to tackle. It's just a very unique story in general.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I could like rate the story as a separate component, that would definitely be S tier. But yeah, as it is, I'm sorry.
C tier?
Yeah, sorry, Jennifer.
C tier for Rule of Rose. All right.
Rule of Crows.
Cruel of Crows.
That sounds like a bad YA novel name. You're free to use that if you want to.
Band or something, but
or a band, yeah.
I don't know.
All right,
let's get into Final Fantasy. I mean, I think I know your gut reaction.
You think? Yeah, this is my special one. This is my S tier, actually.
Yeah, I was feeling A, and I could have been pulled up. So
yeah. And let me just say, I have put an extensive amount of time into Final Fantasy 12, just like on my own time. And not to influence that discussion later on, but I can see why 10 is like the one that stands out, at least from my experience, like observing the Final Fantasy community. 10 seems to be more well-loved.
Mm-hmm.
Every character in the party is so interesting, and the story is interesting and compelling, and has some really, really good themes in it. With like religion, like organized religion, and questioning faith and tradition, and it's just super cool how it all comes together. And also on top of that, as a game, it's really freaking good. The boss fights are cool.
What was it called? The conditional turn-based system?
Yeah, I think so.
The conditional battle system or whatever. It was a really good, as someone who enjoys turn-based games, it was a really unique spin on turn-based combat.
And also fun. Like the main story, like Clayton, I know like our experience with it was the main story, which is very linear, but also towards the end, the game opens up so much and there's so much side content. Like this is a game that you can spend hours and hours and hours, like just like seeing everything it has to offer. And I think that that's really cool. So,
and if you remember, I feel like this game took me on a ride. Like playing the main story the way that I did was definitely like, I don't know. It was a unique experience for me because I'm not very well versed with JRPGs in general. And if you remember from the episode, I tapped out at like the final section, leaving to go fight Sen because I kind of hit like a little bit of a wall.
You were underleveled.
Yeah, because I was so like critical pathing it. I knew it was going to be rough. So yeah, I tapped out. And I feel like I did around then is when I realized that I kind of did the game a disservice in the way that I decided to engage with it, because I think it wants to just sit with you for a long time as opposed to, I don't know, trying to blitz through the main story. Like I would have liked to have spent more time doing like the side content. But yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say like you were talking about the how it wants to sit with you thing. There is something about like the soundtrack and the atmosphere that the game gives you that does make you feel kind of like contemplative in a way. Like going into the temples and hearing like the hymn of the faith, and I don't know, just some of like the low, like easygoing music that it plays, but also like the cutscenes and some of like the visceral like emotions they make you feel. Oh, yeah, that's S tier for me.
I was very anti-grind when I played this, I remember as well. Like,
yeah, that kind of, I mean, it's not the grindiest of
no, it didn't
JRPGs
feel like it
by any means, but
I
have
like
to do
full
some.
on like skipped battles.
Yeah.
Like I fled from battles.
If you just sort of take the encounters as they come and don't really skip them, I think you should like stay within like the level range you're supposed to and be just fine.
Close to that, yeah.
But yeah, if you're like rushing, then you're gonna have problems.
I liked the sphere grid system a lot as well.
Yep.
I felt like that was a very unique way to structure like a character progression system where they're all intertwined, but you start on different parts of that sphere. So people are kind of funneled into their respective class, but you have opportunities to branch out to the other sections of the sphere grid to kind of multi-class in a way.
Yep.
And I found that very fun.
Yep. Lots of opportunities to play with builds, and not just like the sphere grid, but also the equipment and assigning abilities to your equipment. You can make different loadouts for different things. It's good. It's a good time.
It's good. I'm curious if we ever get a chance to play more JRPGs. How they'll stack up. You know?
Yeah.
I think I think going forward, I told you this, but I really want to try to like play and record a game in like 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks should be like the standard. And then as we build up a lead, we spend it on longer games, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and also I think the time we were trying to play that and record it was also hard.
We gave up at the like time of as far as what was happening in our lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. We did give ourselves a fairly good lead, though.
Yeah.
I think we had, maybe close to 2 months. I can't remember.
We had quite a while.
But yeah. Final Fantasy X S tier.
Yep.
Pac-Man World 2.
What a thing to come back on.
I think I said this before we recorded, but I fully forgot about this game when I was trying to like put together this like tier list of like all the games we've played.
Yeah.
I really do like have a decent memory of the games we've played. I was like, yeah, we did Jack, SSX, Scalar, Oni, Chu. But then I got to Final Fantasy and I'm like, yep, and then we went to Uzumaki Chronicles. Just immediately forgot about the game we played like a month ago.
I am thinking B or C.
I personally feel like it's a better platformer than Crash.
Okay.
And Scalar.
Mm-hmm.
But not by much. I could be convinced to put it in C, but
I think
maybe I think it does actually belong in C. Like I'm thinking of all my reasons. I'm like, most of this is a nostalgic sort of comfy, cozy feeling. Like, I feel like a lot of the same critiques I would have towards some of these other platformers in C tier, I would also have towards Pac-Man. I like it though. Like personally, for me, good game. There's like an inconsistency with the difficulty that I think is probably the biggest hindrance. There's a weird pacing with the gameplay as well towards the later half. And I don't know. It's like a fairly consistent, like a lot of the enemies kind of fit in with the Pac-Man aesthetic. Some don't, but yeah, I feel like C just makes more sense.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, let's discuss Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles.
I'm saying C.
I feel like it's either C or D. Like, how harsh do we want to come down on this game? I think honestly, I mean, it's like it grew on me a little bit. Like, it got a little bit more tolerable. I think D makes more sense, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there.
Like, I feel like the C tier games that we have right now, like Pac-Man, Scalar, TMNT, I think is the closest comparison. But I feel like TMNT was less insulting.
Yeah, and annoying.
Yes.
For me,
with like the saves and
the menuing.
Yeah.
The combat, the getting smacked like right when the screen pops up. It's like, hello, please.
And how neutered this game got compared to the Japanese release.
Yeah, that too. Oh yeah, that was
big detractor. Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm like, oh man, would we put Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles in with Rule of Rose?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it belongs there.
I mean, gameplay wise, maybe, but
seeing Rule of Rose in C tier does feel weird to me. But I feel like it technically makes sense.
The story is pulling a lot of weight.
It is. It is. But the gameplay is also pulling as hard down, so it's
yeah. I
don't know. Anyway, I'm content with the ranking for Naruto. D tier.
Yep.
Speaking of D tier, Donald Duck going quackers. I feel like it does not have the same pull that the C tier platformers have.
No.
I think D tier is probably its home.
Yeah. Maybe
I don't want to say F tier.
No. I wouldn't put it in F tier. And I also would not really recommend it to anybody. Like, just go play Crash Bandicoot. Like, if you want to play, or go play, if you want something similar difficulty wise, go play Crash Warped, Crash 3. Because that's the easiest, I think, of the original Crash trilogy. But yeah, it's my 2 cents. What a fun note to end that on, by the way.
I know, yeah.
Like, D tier. Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 shitty games. Where do you put them? Yeah. I'm happy with this list. It's a little C heavy. We have a little bit of a bell curve going on.
I think that that's appropriate though. That it's C heavy because that is like mid.
We played a lot of mid games that were like, but it's the lower mid, right?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently to be like an upper mid is kind of a rare thing because we only have 3 games there in B. Yeah.
Is there anything that jumps out to you as being wrong before we solidify this?
No. I'm looking at it and I don't see anything that I disagree with.
Are there any C tiers that belong in B? The only one I might say is Rule of Rose, but I don't know if I was want also to concede.
I was also thinking, like, again, does the story pull that much weight for it?
That's what is happening in my head. I'm like, in my head, Rule of Rose is the story. It's like I'm oppressing the gameplay part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Same.
And just remembering how painful it was. But no, I can't do that. The games aren't how good like a YouTube video recapping the story is.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm also struggling with that because I'm thinking about like the video essays and like the fun we had discussing it and like, but it has such good things to say.
And you know what else is kind of throwing a wrench in this is that we put Tulip in B tier.
Yeah, and we're letting that like our specific the way that we played it. Well, I mean I guess you had like more of a quote unquote legit playthrough than I did because you weren't using save states, but oh my god. Like I'm like thinking more about the themes in Rule of Rose, the classism, the like the power structures and the abuse. That's like heavy shit to talk about. And it did a good job of capturing all that in like a way that's like makes you think about it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny because in my head I'm like, is Tulip gameplay worse than Rule of Rose gameplay?
No.
And then I'm like,
I would say no.
Wait, and then I'm like, I guess it's like the Tulip gameplay is thematically bad, but the Rule of Rose gameplay is not thematically bad.
Yeah, the combat is poopy, but
if you feel strongly one way or the other, that's pretty much where I am because I could be pulled right now.
Okay, is it also bad to want to move it for the sake of the distribution?
That's not completely out of my thought process.
Okay, right, if you were to tell me, pull one game out of C and put it in B, I would choose Rule of Rose like first.
I think I would too.
Okay.
I think I would do too. Like, is Rule of Rose's gameplay so bad that it is sitting in the same tier as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone?
Again, though.
It is bad.
But the story is so much better than Harry Potter's.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's difficult. It really is. I'm being twisted and turned all sorts of ways.
Yeah, and it's also like, see, like part of my bias is my philosophy is also games is art. Games are art. They're interactive art. And I love what the art in Rule of Rose is saying. And I love how it explores the concept. I even like the visuals of the ship and the orphanage and the color palette and the sad soundtrack and the sad brown.
I don't think I'm going to be content until it's in B tier.
Oh man, I would put it in B. I'm actually leaning B.
I here's the thing. It's like in my head, I'm like, the second I put it in B tier, I'm like, yeah, I'm content now. But if I leave it in C, I'm just going to keep thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's going to keep me up at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's lock in the list then.
All right, I like it.
So we have in S tier, Resident Evil 4 and Final Fantasy X.
I think that feels super appropriate.
That looks like a good ass list. That's a sexy ass list right there.
Yeah.
A tier, Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, SSX Tricky, Haunting Ground, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, and Ratchet and Clank.
Again, all bangers.
Bangers. And I feel like we protected C tier fairly well. It's like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
These are all great, but there's a filter. You know, you gotta surpass this ambiguous and arbitrary filter to get into S tier. But yeah, B tier. We have 007 Nightfire, Tulip, Star Wars Battlefront, and Rule of Rose. And in C tier, we have Pac-Man World 2, SSX, Scalar, ATV Off-Road Fury, TMNT, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. In D tier, we have Call of Duty Finest Hour, Sonic Heroes, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles, and Donald Duck Going Quackers. And in F tier, we have Oni.
Stanky
F tier.
Stanky F tier.
We're gonna have to play a game that we like hate to get another F tier.
I know, which is lonely down there.
It's hard because we electively play these games. You know, like we don't. It's not like a random assignment.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Spyro was gonna be stinky.
Oh,
but like,
Morgan, this just came to me.
Yeah.
What if 1 month every year we did a actual random game?
Okay.
I don't know. Is there a good way to do this? Let me check how long to beat and see if there's just like a sort of like random way I can get a game to show up.
Well, we also have to make sure that it's like something we can get our hands on, if you know what I mean.
Right. I think we probably can.
Oh wait, yeah, there's a random button right there, right?
There is?
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Is that gonna be PS2?
Oh shit.
Oh,
we might end up with something like this.
Okay.
I think we should do that though.
Oh no, I feel like okay.
Not
playing Russian roulette.
This didn't
with
count.
The,
This one didn't count.
No.
This one didn't count.
Yeah, when is our next available month for a random one?
Well, I mean, if we landed on SSX3, that would be a pretty good one. But this one also doesn't count. Oh, but that's a spicy one too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Damn. I would have to get Sage to help me with Yu-Gi-Oh.
I feel like we would have one out if it required a peripheral that was hard to come by.
Yeah, and if it was like 200 hours long. It's like it has to be like reasonably beatable within a month.
Yeah, we might end up with something like this. It's like, what is Garu Mask of Wolves?
Mark of the Wolves.
Mark of Wolves. I can't read.
Oh.
I don't even know, but we would find out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We would find out. Oh, it's a Fatal Fury game? So it's a fighting game? Interesting. I think that could be fun 1 month of the year. Maybe it should be like... I'm trying to think like what is our least... We might need more data to determine our least well-performing month. But I was just going to say our least well-performing month.
Because I feel like it kind of depends. Again, it depends on the game we're playing, whether or not people are interested.
We could do random February.
Yeah.
I don't know. February. I don't know.
August. No. September roulette.
Oh. Okay.
That could work.
Let's do September roulette this year.
Okay.
That'd
I like
fun.
that actually.
Gonna
That's
get
fun.
Like Persona 4 or something. Like, oh shit. Yeah. I think okay.
When do we roll for September roulette?
I don't know. Maybe live on the last podcast before.
Okay.
September.
Okay.
Okay, here's the other issue. If we run into a game like Persona 4, a large RPG that is very important to the PS2, we can't do that because we're gonna have to rush it. You know what I mean?
And those games, they deserve our respect.
So we may need to make an executive decision whenever the game is picked
to veto September roulette, or to veto the roll, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We might have to do a mulligan or something, but okay. We just started talking about future episodes. That's our list.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the end of the episode. Oh, personal top 3.
Oh, shit.
Why don't you? I mean, I think I have mine.
Okay, can you pull up the list of what we actually played this year? Because I forgot.
Are these icons too small for you?
No, like the list of like what we played. Yeah. Previous year's list. Yeah. Wait, no, you had it in that document, right? Under ranking? Am I crazy?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay. Is this allowed to be like personal? Like has nothing to do with
nothing
with anything?
Nothing
completely personal. Okay. Let me look at the list.
I can tell you.
This has already been like made for me though. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the list. Absolutely nothing to do with the list.
Do they have to be in order?
Yeah, sure. Give me them in order.
Okay.
I think I got mine.
Yeah, I have mine. So my number 3 is going to be Ratchet and Clank.
Nice.
Because I gotta. My number 2 is going to be Sly Cooper.
We're going to have very similar lists.
Yeah, because I gotta. And my number 1 is going to be Final Fantasy X.
Okay, yeah. Mine is the same. 3 Ratchet and Clank, 2 Sly Cooper, and then 4 Resident Evil 4. Did I say 4?
Okay.
I said
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Resident Evil 4 is the Forest game of all time. I think that can be. You can lock that one in.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the episode.
All right.
I don't have the intro. I gotta go back to a previous document.
Yeah, you gotta find our closing.
Contain the outro. Oh, I wonder what like our earliest outro was.
Yeah. Let's read it for this. Look at this long ass document.
This 16-page fucking document.
Yeah. In case you were wondering, all the PS2 launch games go in F tier.
Oh, technically, SSX was a launch game.
Oh, sorry. Except for that one.
Sucks major booty. All right. Did we have? Oh, there was no outro for this. It just said, "Did we learn anything from this?" Morgan, did we learn anything from this?
From our ranking?
From our ranking?
I mean, this is based on our opinion, so we already kind of knew.
I feel like I learned more about how much you like Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
I think I knew that in my heart.
Yeah.
Seeing it on the list manifested.
Yeah.
Has really solidified that for me.
I think it was interesting how conflicted we are over Rule of Rose.
Yeah. I think Rule of Rose was... It's hard. I feel like there was like a 10 degree, like I could have seen it in everything except S tier.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure about Final Fantasy X being an S tier, but seeing it up there, I'm like, that's pretty hot. I like it up there.
It looks like she belongs up there.
She does. Like, oh, what's your S tier games? Resident Evil 4 and Final Fantasy X. Damn.
Does sound like good takes. That's based.
That is based, as the kids would say.
I think our list is very based. But again, it is our list.
It's cooking. So, it's cooking as well.
Yeah.
We let this list cook.
She's in there making grilled cheese.
All right, that's it for the episode.
Okay.
I don't have an outro pulled up, so we're just freeballing this one.
Get out of here.
What
are you doing? Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of my podcast.
We'll see you next time with Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yes, next time with Kingdom Hearts. This is coming out after Donald Duck, before Kingdom Hearts, just in the middle of February.
Yeah. May I ask, at this time, have you beaten Cerberus?
No.
Oh no.
No.
Okay. It might help if I tell you
stock up on some stuff. But
that also, I think to a certain extent, the worlds in Kingdom Hearts are optional. So you might just leave and come back.
I saw that, but I think what I'm going to do is, I think if I get 2 potions, I think I'll be good. Okay, here's what else. I want to ask a quick question.
Okay.
That's it. This is like a Midwestern goodbye, basically. Like
it is.
We ended the episode and then we started
We
talking.
are standing in the doorway,
preventing our audience from leaving.
Yeah.
Anyway, So I'm not like neglecting some aspect of the game, right? I'm not like forgetting to level up or equip items, maybe?
Have you been equipping abilities?
I have a dodge roll.
Okay, do you know if you have any other abilities?
Oh, hang on. Let me just
Are you gonna pull it up? Or are you gonna share your screen?
I'm gonna share my screen.
Hell yeah. Should I still be recording this?
Let's end the podcast.
Are we ending it?
We're ending it.
Okay. Goodbye.
Oh, wait. Before you end it, I think I just realized right now that I forgot to press record on not Audacity. We're good there.
Okay.
Now that we're cooking on Audacity. I forgot to press record on OBS. So I might have to recreate the placement of the tier list in post.
That's not so bad.
Yes.
Because you can just listen to the audio and move your mouse around.
No, it's really not that bad.
Okay.
It's fine. All right.
Stop.